Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 7 of class, where we'll talk about professional esports. Obviously, this is something that we've talked about a lot over the course of this year, last year. You guys have a good understanding of what professional esports is. So this week, I want to talk about specifically the different formats of like the pro leagues and have you guys dive in a little bit when it comes to the weekly assignment. I understand that next week is spring break. These things are still due this coming Sunday at 11:59, just to keep the same cadence when it comes to everything. You guys know what the course is like, and it's not a particularly hard assignment. You just have to put in a little bit of effort, um, and it's not something that should be open for 2 weeks, honestly. So just try to get it done ahead of time before you go to break. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns about that. Like I said, it shouldn't be too hard. Shouldn't be too hard to manage. But what we will talk about, I'll try to keep the lecture brief considering spring break is next week, because I'm also linking you the notes and stuff that I'm using for the lecture. Um, so when we talk about different tournament formats and stuff for their successes, here I'll just show you guys. It's going to be linked right here in the videos. Video will be under this. Sorry for these being dark, by the way. It has to do with HDR, and I don't care enough to mess with my monitor settings before I record these. But anyways, esports formats. So this is specifically professional leagues, and some of their like examples, little bit stuff about them. So first off, we'll talk about open circuit. This is like grassroots to pro. Um, Anyone can enter, progress through qualifiers, reach the top level. OG MLG, shouts out. This is kind of like the perfect example of that. Online qualifiers, land qualifiers. You have the the tip of the top tournaments and stuff. You still see that with like CS2 and Rocket League to this day, where they have like the open qualifiers that you can get into. Halo also uses this format a little bit when it comes to their like they have some partnered teams. There's just kind of like a hybrid ish. They have some partnered teams that'll be there, but they do have their qualifiers and their opens leading into all their majors. I have some successes and challenges listed for each of these. I'll let you guys dive into those as you go through because that's going to be part of like the question that you're answering. And again, this is on the Canvas page. I click through where you'll be getting it. Next, franchised or closed league system. This could be like League of Legends, whatever name they're on now. In the North America, LEC, no, not LEC, LCS used to be. I get it. It's the LCS to me, and the Call of Duty League, formerly the Overwatch League, but they're going through their changes and stuff right now. It'll be interesting to see what model they settle on, having been through the franchise and everything that goes with it. Other, we have the hybrid model. So there are some franchises, but there can also be promotions. We've seen that with the VCT and also with Rainbow Six Siege. If anyone watched their event recently, it was pretty cool. All the updates and stuff they're doing to that game. But just some things to look at there for that hybrid model, some examples. Next, we have like the battle royale and festival tournaments. So this one is a little bit different. It's more like an open qualifier, but not quite that like grassroots circuit and stuff. Hopefully my audio didn't. Uh, Looks like it should be good. Um, so I got to pop up for my wave link. Anyways, battle royales, festival tournaments. Look back to the Fortnite World Cup. People qualified through the open qualifiers, and led to a massive in-person championship. We see this a lot with Apex Legends with their ALGS, open qualifiers, regional circuits, and LAN events. I separated this one only because they are battle royale games, so it just naturally works a lot different than some of your other qualifiers and how they might have the tournaments and stuff. The qualifying is just so different with those in terms of like placement, point systems, and stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind there, and one that honestly could fall under a couple of those other ones. Just wanted to give battle royales their own kind of highlight. Other than that, those are kind of the different formats and stuff we're talking about. I did want to throw in some stuff here about the Esports World Cup and like the model and stuff that it is. When you're answering your questions, you don't have to necessarily focus on this one. I was mainly looking for those first something out of those first four, but this is something to keep in mind, especially with them just announcing all of their like partnered clubs or teams. I can't remember their phrasing. But it's really interesting. Obviously, it's already happened once in through Saudi Arabia. There's big prize pools, bunch of games, global participation, like legitimately. Potential successes. We've already seen it. Funding could create sustainability for the teams. Literally, Sentinels put out a tweet today about them joining it and how it helps them with like their funding and sustainability. I'll link that as well to give a little bit more context. Global prestige. Like obviously, the Olympics is doing whatever they're doing with esports, but like it's gone back and forth. They've delayed it. Maybe we're only doing sports games. Maybe we're doing other stuff. So this is like the esports World Cup that could be something like the Olympics for esports. Um, Obviously, there are some challenges or controversy with it. So Saudi Arabian involvement, ethical concerns over funding sources, things like that. You're always going to see this in community. Um, I mean, in the esports community alone, you've seen many people straight boycott the World Cup, whether it be players, teams, commentators, hosts, stuff like that. So it's something to keep in mind. And then sustainability, like, can it maintain the long term engagement? And something like this, the funding could just be pulled and then you're done, right? And then bringing multiple esports under one governing body um, really is unprecedented. Meaning that like I don't think it's been done in a great way. You kind of see it on the collegiate level, but even then it has its issues. But to be working with like pro teams from some of the biggest esports in the world is really interesting when it comes to it. Like we could see something where it's like, yeah, I mean it's got the developer support with some of that with Riot and what they've done, but it could be interesting to see like what could happen for some of those titles if they decide to full support for their titles from it, and things like that. So just a lot of things that could go into it. Something I really wanted to and just needed to bring up when it comes to professional esports, just with everything we've got going on now. Like I said, this is linked for you. I super skimmed over it just to keep the video kind of short. We're already pushing 10 minutes, so let's talk about the assignment for this week. So, how do different competitive esports formats impact player sustainability, fan engagement, and long term industry growth? So, with this, try to find at least one article on the professional tournament or league formats. This could be hard to do. Best case, you're finding it on their like website and uh, linking me their about page and pulling stuff from it. Give some a summary, state your opinions on that, how that specific esport handles it with their tournaments and stuff. um, Analyze its I say one formats, but analyze the one that you choose, its strength and weaknesses, and then discuss which format you believe will be the most sustainable in the future and why. Big focus on the sustainability, not only from the player standpoint, but also from sustainability for the esport. I think this is probably the best way and the most different way to engage with the professional esports scene than we have in the past, looking at their specific formats, and sustainability is the big focus here. Like I said, I'm aware that spring break is next week. Please try to get this in for me. I'll get them graded and try to get them included in your midterm. That's a big reason to have it due before or on that Sunday. I could have changed it to Friday, but then that messes with everything. Um, I encourage you guys to get it done quicker. Just so you don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I'm gonna link that Sentinel's tweet for you. And if you have any questions, reach out. You can get me on Discord or email wherever you need me. Have a good week and a good spring break next week.